Juice, man, we gotta go stupid, man. 2008, this your time, baby. The Juice WRLD, baby. Let's go.
I got dope in the pot, weed on the scale, bricks of the blow, down by the bell. I'm trapping with a Nina and I'm serving babies.
Oh, man.
7 grams for the 80. I got dope in the pot, weed on the scale, bricks of the blow, down by the bell. I'm trapping with a Nina and I'm serving babies.
Oh, man.
7 grams for the 80. Man, it's dope, gang serious, man. I'm constantly on the grind, busting down, holding chicken plus a pound of the pie. You can put me in your trap, bet I shut that shit down. 7 grams for the 80 plus the next breaks down. Still posted on the crest, but I'm trapping with a crown. And the bricks of the flow, white, tan, beige, and brown. Never been a small fry, bitch. Can you hear me now? Young Juice Man, watch my money pile. 26 is Devin, 72, painted loud with a stupid color chain. And it's known to move a crowd. 20 bands front on my pinky like wow. And I got a crazy swag, so they try to steal my style. But while I'm in Papa Doe, eating crocodile. OJ the Juice got the J's going wild. Prada shoes walking with my chain like blow. I'm in the trap house cooking bricks right now. I got dope in the pot, weed on the scale, bricks of the blow, down by the bell. I'm trapping with a Nina and I'm serving babies.
Oh, man.
7 grams for the 80. I got dope in the pot, weed on the scale, bricks of the blow, down by the bell. I'm trapping with a Nina and I'm serving babies.
Oh, man.
7 grams for the 80. Little bricks for the bell, yeah, I'm on it. And I'm cooking chicken 5 o'clock in the morning. Stupid color chain, same color as Sunny. On go to crash, but I'm still getting money. Booming all the babies and serving all the junkies. Work away the minutes, so you know I'm doing numbers. Spot for the boys and the car for the runner. Beat the bricks, beat the bell, get it for the summer. Proud to shoot a dick, cause we got Honda. Every ride 650, no Honda. Eat calamari, papa at Benny Honda. Socket my tie, chilling with your woman. Came in the coupe, but I left in the Zonda. Pockets so fat, and my neck is like a jungle. Pirates and the folks got the juice with the bundle. Told y'all what the young juice was on the come. I got dope in the pot, weed on the scale, bricks of the blow, down by the bell. I'm trapping with a Nina and I'm serving babies.
Dope, man.
7 grams for the 80. I got dope in the pot, weed on the scale, bricks of the blow, down by the bell. I'm trapping with a Nina and I'm serving babies. Dope, man. 7 grams
I see
for
some-
the 80. I got dope in the
some
pot,
nuts,
and
pause.
the numbers like goose.
Don't spill my teeth.
Well over 82. Man, my wrist game sick and my head be the 2. This scale plate got it doing what it do. Trap going crazy, so I gotta cook too. T-Mobile razor.
Protect OJ the Juice Man at all costs, man.
Then you gotta pack a 2. If a nigga try to be slick, put him on the news. 07 Georgia with the Hemi dude. Tell me once you fail, then he's sitting on 2. Bricks and the bell got me right new. Town brown for the 80D boys, what it do? Young Jew man, middle finger all blue. A multicolored chain, it was made by Lucky too. Smoking perk out the pound, plus I serve you with a house on the hill with a lakeside view.
Alright, man. Shut this shit up. Alright, y'all. So, Moon and Scorpio and this motherfucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, the world we in currently is fixed water. So, what is fixed water? That's the 8th house. That's Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? That's also where Mars falls at. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why we call it Pluto energy. You know what I'm saying? So, Scorpio, 8th house, that's really still Mars. But that's why but we call it Pluto for like reasons, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like an allegory of just the death of Mars, the fall of Mars, the fall of death, you know what I'm saying? The fall of the rise, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So it's kind of like how when you figure out how they like correlate their little mathematics with the astrology aspect of it, you realize like there's certain ways in how there's energies that they put out, like there's energies that's already in the sky, like out in the sky. So there's different ways how we can see that in our everyday life. There's different ways how we can like uh see how that shit plays out, like, you know what I'm saying, with Mars in general. You know what I'm saying, that's kind of what passionately into, you know what I'm saying, what how we like will things into an existence with the Mars in general. This I'm talking about Mars, right? This is like this can lead to our creativity, what we're passionate about and shit like that, and what we're sexually active about, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like any way and anyhow that correlates in your life, you can take that in any way, you know what I'm saying? But with it being in Scorpio, you know what I'm saying, this is where Mars falls. So, you know what I'm saying, niggas or bitches may be horny at this time, you know what I'm saying? It's maybe times where people, you know what I'm saying, we like, you know what I'm saying, you want to, whether it be uh sex in general, you know what I'm saying, or like someone that you can relate with, you know what I'm saying, even if y'all not fucking, just shit like that, where so you can like share each other's minds, but y'all can like you know what I'm saying. So it's not all about actual, you know what I'm saying, sex, but when I'm talking about like the whole totality of it, it's kind of like sex is when you join two energies together. So it starts from the mind first. So it's kind of like when you join a thought and feeling together. So it's kind of like in general, it's kind of like if you're with an individual, right? And y'all know how to share, like y'all know how to mind sex, so y'all know how to share each other's mind. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how to correlate in the spiritual realm first. That's really how it plays out, and it can lead to the physically y'all fucking down here. But I'm talking about in general. Like this is just a whole energy that we just, you know what I'm saying, we're just correlated in our everyday lives and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Well, and then it's not, and then we can also like you can also have times where like we may go deep in a lot of things we participate in our lives. We may go deep in it. We may like you know what I'm saying, we may not have it. We may look like we don't have it all together because with the moon in Scorpio, right? That's fixed water. So you know what I'm saying, that's kind of like however you go, however it is you're going deep in your life, however it is that you're going deep in your everyday life and shit like that. It's kind of like how can you correlate that to your project, you know what I'm saying? And when I say project, it just anything that you're creatively into and shit like that. So I'm saying, how can you correlate that to project? How can you correlate that to your your passion? So you know what I'm saying? And no puns intended, because Mars is your passion. So it's kind of like it's also like that's also getting pushed. That's also getting you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then we have a lot of water in the sky because Neptune and Venus is also in Pisces. I broke that down yesterday. I kind of broke down the energies yesterday of it. But yeah, Neptune. Well, I think it was 2 days ago. I don't remember. But I think it was not yesterday. But Neptune and Venus is in Pisces, so that's also more water. So it's kind of like we're gonna be in a world where because we were airheaded. We still are airheaded, but not as much as like we were before because the moon is no longer in Libra. You know, so Mars is still in Gemini, right? So we still got the and Mercury is still in Aquarius. So we still got the energy still out there. But with that Uranus being in Taurus, it's kind of like it's still helping us like see shit however ways that we can stabilize ourselves or look stable or create a stable picture. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what you can build off, especially with the Uranus being in Taurus. So it's kind of like with those energies in the sky, it's kind of like the Uranus is kind of like a cup. You know what I'm saying? The Mercury in Aquarius and Mars in Gemini is kind of like the man holding the cup and moving, like, you know what I'm saying, catching the raindrops. Like, so it's not a lot of rain because well, it is a lot of rain. Let me stop the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. So it's kind of like when you're a kid and you want to drink, you want to see how the water tastes outside. You know, I know we all done this as, I don't know if we have, but I'm pretty sure we've all done this as kids where we're like, it's raining outside and you want to see how that water tastes like, because you feel like it may taste different. And you also may think it's fresher. You know, this is some stupid shit, right? So it's gonna be like that kind of allegory, that kind of energy where we may be going outside, spiritually speaking. We may be going outside with like a cup. So the cup will represent Uranus and Taurus. Us moving, you know what I'm saying, pushing that idea would be the Mercury in Aquarius and Mars in Gemini because we're passionately into it. And then the Neptune and Pisces, Venus and Pisces, and then the moon in Scorpio. It's kind of like the water. Like, so that's kind of like how the water is gonna be playing out and shit like that. So it's kind of like shit like energies like that where you gonna be where you gonna be in ways where you gonna want to see how you can get a taste of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You can get a taste of how you should participate with the real life, how you should participate with everyday action and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? How you should participate, because like when you're, it's kind of like you could be energies like those and like that just to catch the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how, you know what they be saying in New York. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to catch the vibes. Where they be saying, you know, you try to catch the vibe. So when you catch a vibe, it's kind of like a vibe is an emotion. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you catch an emotion, with you being the divine masculine, you should know how to foundate. Either you want to harness on that actual that divine feminine you receive from this world, and you want to see how you can correlate that with your divine masculine. Either you let it in one chakra out the other, or you can actually see that, you know what I'm saying, see that playing out and things of that nature. So it's kind of like how you can correlate your little shit with that system and that aspect in general, right? So with that being said, the moon in Scorpio is gonna be pushing us to either do what we gotta be doing, like how it says, either like it's gonna be pushing us to either come down from the dream world, because by default with the Neptune and Venus and Pisces, we're still gonna be in the dream world, right? We'll still be in La La Land, right? But that moon in Scorpio is pushing us to make that dream a reality. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you mind, whatever creativity or something deep that you've been hiding in that within your internal worlds and shit like that, how you gonna relate that to the everyday world? How you gonna, and then with the Mercury and Aquarius, you gonna have to figure out a way and how you can make that make sense. So the moon Scorpio is actually gonna help us have the ability to make that make sense and things of that nature. So how are you gonna correlate that with your everyday life? How you gonna make these actions you know what I'm saying, make sense? How you gonna push it to, how it says, how you gonna push it to like bag a feeling? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna bag an emotional thought form? How you gonna bag an emotional trip? You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking psychedelic. You know, that's no flunked out psychedelic. But when I say trip, you know what I'm saying, you should see this whole world as like a trip. You know what I'm saying? You should see this whole world like a psychedelic. I ain't talking real psychedelics. I'm talking about an experience. So it's good. It's also good to experience, because when you experience, then you have new, like when you experience, you know how far you can go with something, and how much you can do that with an individual, you know, shit like that. So it's kind of like, you know, always find ways in how you can like build up on the thought, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's trying to scoop out certain scooping out certain emotions that you don't need for yourself, you know what I'm saying, and stick to the way you think and feel, you know what I'm saying. Think first. The feel will come in later, you know what I'm saying, but come up with ways of how you think, you know what I'm saying, and then that feeling will come, and that feeling will make sense to you in the long run, if you've been playing good seeds, you know what I'm saying. But with that being said, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of getting us prepared for I may be wrong. I think the next full moon would be in Taurus, if I'm correct. But yeah, but with that, it's kind of getting us prepared for the next full moon in Taurus, right? So it's kind of like, with that being said, we want to be in spaces where we know like how to like come up with something stable in our life, like come up with some type of building blocks, something unique in our life, you know what I'm saying? Something that we can the fuck, my bad, shit. Something that we can practicalize in our life, you know what I'm saying? Something that we can make stable and make it make sense. So it's kind of like with shit like that, you want to be in spaces where you already know the deal. You already know why, like you already know why, like it's like the algorithm. There's a method to your madness, you know what I'm saying? You kind of know the method to your madness, and people that be living by that principle, a method to their madness, those really, like, think about it, those be like the smartest motherfuckers in the world, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say names, because you should already know certain people why I be talking about method to their madness. You know, I want to throw some certain celebrities, but then I don't want to feed nobody's ego and shit like that. But it's kind of like yeah, there's a method. There's a method to people's madness. So with that being said, people may do shit in their life where there's certain things that because the way they showed out that idea, or where they put out that idea, being being younger, or being in a certain space or place or geographical location where they were at, people did probably didn't support that. Then after they see that the world in general is going by that actual virtue and principle, so it's kind of like there's no then the person with the madness has no choice but to play on those actual actions, to play on those actual thought forms, those feelings, because like they see that they came up with that shit first, but there's really no such thing as coming up with something first. You know what I'm saying? Look, because teamwork made the dream work. So we all did something. We all like was aware of something first. Not aware of something first, but we all became aware of our 1-2 of something we did in general, right? So it's kind of like method to your madness. Is kind of that's why I should name this. I should name this Scorpio Moon Method to Your Madness. I'll rename it later. But yeah, with that being said, with that method to your madness, there's like reasons why you may come across crazy or shit like that, because there's something this shit that you want to explain, the shit that you, since you're so spiritual, since you're such a like a broad out spirit, you didn't already outgrown this world. So the things you see and the things you envision and think and feel, you can already see that playing out a mile away. You know what I'm saying? Like and then like when I say a mile away, it's kind of like it can just be like space to space, close to close. Like it can be someone right next to you, right? And you already know it's like you already know their next action in the next like 5 seconds. It's like weird, but when I say that, it's kind of like y'all could be smoking together, right? And like it's like the blunt may not need to be ashed, but just because the way that person moves, you already know that in their mind they just probably because they may be high, they don't know. So they may just think it needs to be asked or so some weird shit. You know, just some stupid. I was just an example, right? So it's kind of like, with that being said, if you were like, let's say you were wrong. Let's say you be like, yeah, this cat about to empty his blunt. Ask the tray, right, or some shit like that. It's kind of like you may have been wrong at that very moment, right? And then I don't know, it's just some stupid shit. And then like homeboy talking to you like, nah, what the fuck you talking about? And like, oh no, I thought you were about to because you usually do that. You probably don't notice it, but you usually be doing that. And then you know what I'm saying, y'all can chop it up and shit like that. But then later down the road when y'all smoking again, you won't say anything, but you'll see him doing it, and then nothing comes out that no ash comes out because I didn't already asked it. So when I passed it to homeboy, like he probably didn't peep game. So he's hitting it. He hit it a few times. It still don't need to be ash. He goes to ash it. There's nothing to ash. So it's kind of like, but you don't say. But it's kind of. I know it's a weird ass example, but if y'all trying to understand what I'm trying to say, y'all can put that in any totality in any walks of your life, because it's kind of like it's something that we do as spirits subconsciously. Like all of us as spirits, there's like methods to our madness. Like there's always something that we do that may not make sense in the physical realm, but since all of us are spirits in mind, spirits with mind, so all of us like know, especially if you watch this channel, right? And if you watch Dolo the Parliament, right? You know that in a soul group, in subconscious community, right? You know that like all of us are spirits and minds. So it's kind of like we all like, how I say this, we all like play out these certain roles and certain things for reasons. Like there's reasons why we may play certain characters, you know what I'm saying? Because it starts off in the mind first, right? That's kind of like you know what I'm saying, shit like that. That's the reason why. That's the reason why we don't go by our government names. You know what I'm saying? Like even rappers, like celebrities are hip to it. Not all celebrities, but some celebrities be hip to this. And a lot of celebrities, like I ain't gonna lie, like celebrities in general are spiritual. I be knowing celebrities are spiritual, but like what you see is this what they want to show you, right? So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying. So you know, so they be. I ain't go too deep into that, but yeah. So it's kind of like we're all spirits with minds. All spirits have minds. So it's kind of like there's a method to all our madness. we all do something for reasons. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like don't take it with it, like don't take it too like don't take it personal when you feel like a certain vibe with a certain like presence that you may not it may not be in your favor, because that spirit behind in that vessel in that body most infinitely play that. And I'm gonna say infinitely because there's a reason spirits do the things they do, but most infinitely play that actual role, either to like lure you in, or either to like push you away, or either to like befriend you. Like it's like there's like it's so many things in the dictionary that you can come up with, that people that already came up with certain minds and shit that you can that you can play by. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So it's kind of like you gotta be hip to this shit, right? So it's kind of like, with that being said, it's kind of like there's always a method to our madness. You know what I'm saying? And that may not be madness, but I just in general I'm trying to like show y'all why spirits do the things they do. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But you know what I'm saying? With that being said, it's kind of like celebrities already be knowing what the fuck they be doing. Like, don't get it fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Celebrities be knowing what the fuck they be doing. Like when celebrities play, when celebrities show you what they want to show you on social media, when celebrities show you like the things they do for, like, it's like for reasons. Like celebrities aren't dumb, right? They may seem dumb, they may play dumb because of the money they got. So it's like they don't want to be out those positions. They like, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't want to go too far into that because yeah, but yeah, because when I be usually because I be peeping because you know what I'm saying, it's easier. It's like it's easy to like see how humans be moving and shit like that. So when I be seeing like certain celebrities, and I be seeing understand why they do the things they do. It's a weird, and like some like when they it's like a coil. It's like they didn't create like a coiling system. What's it called? That they know how to like. They know how to make what's up, Mac? They know how to make money in what's up, Mac? What's up, man? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they know how to make money in like all types of weird, like mysterious ways, since they're already celebrities. Like to be a celebrity, you already had to be thinking, not thinking high, but in a high vibrational space in general. So it's kind of like you already are in spaces where you already are in spaces of like you're already above, and I don't want to say above or below because there's no such thing as above or below, up or down. It's like distance and closeness. So shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like they're already in such a high space. You know what I'm saying? It's like the thoughts and feelings that they derive from their mentality. It's like way too broad to even be fucked with these peasants, if you want to use peasants or whatever. And that's how they come up with the aspects of fans and shit like that. Like we flunked out shit, but they don't really come up with the aspects of fans. But that's how it plays out because that's how the world sees it as. It's weird. That's how humans see it as and shit like that. But yeah, when I be peeping game with what's up, XO Gilco, what's up? But yeah, when I be peeping game and shit like that, I be seeing like motherfucking like, because celebrities don't be dumb. It's like I guess they play certain. I mean I know they play certain rules just to like. So it's kind of like there's a method to like. That's kind of why I'm trying to get to the point. There's a method to everybody's madness. Like not everybody is mad. I mean, not like people like not everybody is mad to be retarded. Some people are mad. There's a method to their madness. You know what I'm saying? So shit like that. And I ain't gonna name certain celebrities because I you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so it's kind of like when you like. That's why when you're in like certain celebrities, like if you look at certain interviews online with certain celebrities, like they'll play certain like roles. They'll play certain like characters. They'll play certain like ideologies and shit like that, but they do it for reasons. Like they do it just to like play a certain role. And then if the interview would ask them a question on what made you think this, like what made you have these great ideas, or what made you like, and then the first thing they'll say, like most of the time, the first thing they'll say was man, I just always see myself different. Like I always thought, like it always be some far out thing that maybe to spiritual motherfuckers it may not seem that far out, but see, for them to even come up with something like, oh, I was always like the secluded one, or I was always the one that was always like always felt differently about situations, like shit like that. It leads to like trains of thoughts like that, and lines of events like that, and like mind chatter like that. But if you're spiritual, you'd already know, like, for you to even say certain shit like that, every spiritual motherfucker in existence has always come up with like ideas of where they thought like the way they think and feel is just so is not right. Like it's like the way they think and feel is like how I say this, Rayman. The way they think and feel is like how I say this, like it don't match with the environment. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So it's kind of like we have no choice but to come up with these certain words and shit like that. So it's like I don't even know like why certain celebrities in general don't even. I do know why, but when I say I don't know, I'm just because I like to these words to be point. But I really don't know why certain celebrities be like they don't want to like show support to so like and shouts out. Yeah, shout out Wiz Khalifa with that Mercury retrograde song, Mercury retrograde, even though we were in Mercury retrograde. But yeah, but like I don't even know why certain celebrities just don't straight up shout out the Uriel, Dolo the Pilot Man, like the soul group, like because you like I mean I understand why, but I just because they think like we'll take all the energy, we'll take all the power, we'll take all the it ain't like that. It's like for you to be in a space like that, you automatically soul group. You automatically, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. And there's certain celebrities that already are on that type of timing. But I'm just speaking in general, like shit like that. Like there's so much more that we can do, and there's so much more that we can like do for the world. Like I'm trying to change the world. Like I'm trying to change. Like that's the difference between a someone for the community and then a community mind. Like a community mind is to change the world. Now with the Scorpio moon energy, most people may be in a community dick, community pussy, community twat, shit like that. But it's kind of like with a community mind, there's so much more besides what you're actually what the stage is presenting, what the fifth house is presenting. You're seeing shit from the 11th house. So you're seeing what you can, the character you can create for yourself. So kind of like shit like that. There's so much more to that you can push out, the energies you can push out for you and yourselves and for friends and family. Because in the long run, when you do connect with your spiritual with your spiritual family, you also help your 3D friends and family, because you're in spaces of where you love yourself so much that you can give out the love to the ones that showed you love, you know what I'm saying, from the bottom, you know what I'm saying. So never be in spaces where you have hate towards your friends and families. Like you just gotta be a wise enough spirit to know that they're just humans, you know what I'm saying. They're just sheeps. So it's kind of like you can't really be in spaces of where you show hate to these cats. Like I don't know. It's like because if you're a spiritually wise motherfucker, you should already know that there's reasons why that like you can't blame them. Like it's how they were raised. You know what I'm saying? How their parents raised them, how their friends brought up on them, how shit. You know what I'm saying? Kind of shit like that. So it's kind of like that's kind of like the point to method to our madness, because like a lot of people have different ways in how they may have a method to their own little madness. They have different walks of life that they do for themselves, because they see it as like if they do it like this, then they'll make it to this goal. But the whole thing is that they don't ever create a goal for themselves. They create self-sabotage for themselves. So it's like when they create certain goals, the goals be something that this world, this 3D realm gave to them. It'll be goals like to college, or goals to this job, or goals. And there's nothing wrong with these goals. Like if you're doing it for your creativity, for your gifts and talents, it's kind of like, all right, then that's cool and all. But when I say in a whole totality and broad of life, like dumb, deaf, blind, sheep, and weak, most likely their goals are to do something that another man told them to do, another idea told them to do, to help them with an insecurity, or help them with something to benefit them in their lives, because nothing that really benefits you in your life if it's not going to your gifts and talents. I gotta keep preaching that, because that's like God told me that's the only way you can actually have a product to produce a product. When you have a real goal, it can't be no fabricate. What's that word I'm looking? Fabricate, whatever you said. Fabricated goal, right? It's got to be something real, something that you already know. Once you know yourself, you already know the idea, the goal you create for yourself. The goal will be your sun sign, your ideas, your creative sparks, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like once you create a goal like that, that's your goal. So you gotta be able to be the gold mine and the coal mine. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're the gold mine, you know how to create the ideas, the worlds, the realms, or like just like all these you know what I'm saying, NBA basketball players, NFL players, hockey players, all that shit. It's kind of like they're already in spaces of where they're the gold mines. But see, if they were a global mine, like they create their own like NBA, their own sports shit, their own like soccer shit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, but see, we're in a world where people don't want to be seen like that. People want to be seen as uh the the big shot of somebody else's idea, of somebody else's intellectual idea. So it's kind of like always be the one that creates the not only you create the gold, but you create the cobalt shit. So you have two walks in life. So not only are you the gold mine, you're also the cobalt mine, and you can equalize that whole little system and then create even broader ways in how you could come up with your little 1-2s and shit like that. So it's kind of like, don't like you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all know of certain ways where like worlds I've been in where I've already like play out certain roles and principles and virtues where I've already seen this shit play out, and I was so wide. Because I ran worlds, so I already know certain ways where I can do it for everyone. So it's kind of like if I do it, we all do it. You know, it's like shit like that. It's kind of like, I don't know. I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like when if I see a vision that's suitable for all, then we all do it together. Because it's like, so it's kind of like we didn't need no money. Like we all had shit together. We all had shit correlated. We all had, you know, so we all had palaces, they shit like that. So it's kind of like these are just like, how I say this. These are just, oh, this is getting hot in this bitch. Oh, I don't got my phone. Yo, but it's like shit like shit. But it's like shit where we already had we already put our little shit together. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This cat said 3.5. I didn't even realize that. Yo, but yeah, but yeah, shit like that, man. Yeah, so it's like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, we all been there. What the fuck? But yeah, I said, yeah, but shit like that, man. I'm sweating shit. I might end this quickly. Woo, cause my AC, I don't want to put my AC on because my AC be pushing out hot air. This should be funny. But yeah, yeah. So it's like, just when we all do something, it's all for like, how I say, it's all for a bigger cause, especially if you're spiritual. So there's certain things that the spirit will do where like we play out certain roles and I like certain roles, but just to play it out for it's like, if you're with God, you should do it for God. But see, if you're selfish, you do it for yourself. But the best thing is to do it for God, because once you do it for God, God will show you how the world, fuck the people, fuck humans, and fuck demons, and even fuck your thoughts and feelings, child. See how once you do it this way, the whole world looks just like you. The whole world, like, it's like the whole world copies you. Like, it's like not even like in a bad way, but it's like the whole world just sees it how you see it. Like, even if what you're saying is not making sense, child, I'm gonna show you how the whole broads, how you can walk in all walks of life. Like, you, like, it's weird. Like, you can walk through any race, any country, and then people will see you like they seem like, it's like weird. Like it's like they seen some celebrities that they always wanted to see and shit like that. And then you start to realize that when you're in spaces like this, you know how to like, you know, like, not to go too far. Like, it's like you never want to go too far with the energy, because like you never want to start stiffing your own ass, because like, it's like angels come down just to show you that, nigga, I'm you. Like, it's like I'm you. So it's kind of like, I can't say that. Oh, I can't say that. But like, when I say I'm you, don't take it me. I'm actually you. But we've all taken certain bodies. Like we've all been in certain bodies and minds, because the mind is a body. I'm talking about the mind. So we've all been in certain bodies where, because once an angel, all right. So check it out, right? Once an angel creates the buildings, the cities, the states, right? That plays out as the thoughts and feelings, right? So when we fall, right, we fall into a world. We fall into an actual organ, into an actual body. So when an angel says I'm you, don't take it as they're actually you. Understand like this, the certain ideas. For example, it's the best way I can say is like this. Like, angels don't angels don't do the love shit. Angels don't do like angels make this shit. Like everything you see in life, angels make it. So don't take it as like, you know, it's like shit like that. It's like we don't know how to like so angels aren't really you, because we're not human, we're not demons, we're not, but it's like when an angel says something about that can represent that you can subconsciously think, okay, niggas ain't shit, dude. Are we live in this motherfucker? This ain't shit. Hold on. Let me check if we're live, ma. Let me see if we're still live. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. We probably are live. I'm just trying to make sure. I ain't in this motherfucker. So yeah. So I'm trying to think what was I was saying. Oh yeah, so it's kind of like damn, what was my point? Okay, so all right, so certain ideas and thoughts and feelings by default, those play out as the cities and states and buildings and shit like that. So it's kind of like when an angel says they're you, don't take it personal as like they're actually you, but certain mind bodies, and so I'm start saying mind bodies, so y'all don't get confused with actual bodies, because that it can play out, but don't get it fucked up like that. I want to take you so when an angel says I'm you, they're talking about the certain thoughts and feelings that you came up with. An angel's already thought like that eons ago. That's the best way I can explain it. So it's like we're all in a different, like, how we're all in different ways on how we can like I'm trying to think of, like, we're all in different ways on how we can like pinpoint our virtues and principles. I got it, I got it. You know what I'm saying? So we all in a pinpoint where we can we're all in the space where we can pinpoint our footprints in the sand. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So, and we all did something. We all became aware of something of our own little space. But teamwork makes the dream work for us to even accumulate that space. You know what I'm saying? So we can never do something about by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We all, like, for us to even create a realm where we all come together and shit like that. Like that's like the ideology of saying, like, you don't when you, like, the world, like, when people say that, like, the saying the world ends and shit like that, it's kind of like the aspects of the world ends when you die. So it's kind of like when you die, that's when your world ends. So there's really no such thing as a world ending, the apocalypse, all that shit they came up with. What's that? The Judgment Day? Nah. The world ends when your world ends, and that's when your body dies. That's when this is flesh, this shit dies, and your Christ, in your reflection, your moon, right, and then you're rising. So it's kind of like, but it plays out where you create a mind for yourself. So you get to the space of whatever you were thinking and feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit like that. You already, so especially once you know what you're doing, you already in spaces of where you're already unfuckable. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter, like, however you're looking like down here, whatever you virtues and principles and movements or gestures or whatever, or facial expressions you play out down here, is like there's reasons you like. It's kind of like you gotta play ball, because if you, it's like you got, what's that shit that Allen Iverson did? What's that shit? Fuck that basketball shit. And one. It's kind of like the and one shit. It's kind of like you gotta know how to play ball. Like that's why they created the NBA, not NBA, but you know what I'm saying, like the NBA aspect of and one and shit like that. It's kind of like, I don't know if Allen Iverson did that and one. I'm sure I might be tripping, but fuck that shit. But it's kind of like with that and one aspect, it's kind of like you gotta know how to play ball. So don't think of an NBA court. Think of your own court. Think of the shit that you do. It's like the street, the hood, the shit like that. The people like you, the people you walk amongst your kind. And when I say the hood and people like you, don't take it as this black race or Spanish race or white race, or nah, nigga. Take it as one race, and we all see each other as one race. We don't see color. We don't see nothing. Because if you ask me, and this is what got, nigga, we all gold, nigga. None of us are whatever color you think you are. Where you may, nah, you ain't black, you ain't white, you ain't Asian, you ain't Spanish, you ain't Puerto Rican, you ain't Indian, nigga. You gold, nigga, and you a spirit. You a spirit first. So for you to even label yourself, that's already a restriction, and that's kind of how the shadow government played out that Saturn energy of law and restriction and shit like that. That because so that's why you got what's that shit called? What's that shit called? It's like a code when you're born. Fuck, I don't forget because I don't see because I'm so far out. I don't even think of shit like that. But I know what they're used for. But security, not security. Whatever. It's a something code. But they put it on your thing when you're born. Well, fuck that shit. But so that's why. So like they already play out these certain things where you don't know yourself. So even like especially if they know the spirit that came down here, they know the certain spirit that was causing them trouble. So it's kind of like. So thank you, man. Social security card. Yeah, so social security. It's kind of like the social security card, right? It's kind of like they already know. Like that's a how I say that's a Saturn like restriction, law and restriction energy of where they already have you bound. So it's kind of like you are the money. So it's kind of like don't get it fucked up. It's like they're basically saying don't get it fucked up. We own you. It's in a sense like that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, man, even though that shit is fucked up, but that's low-key hard. Cause like imagine like, I don't know, cause you know I ain't no spiritual hater, but I'll be thinking like, nah, let me not go too far with that. But yeah, but it's like so with the social security card, it's kind of like they already have play out that energy of where nigga, like we own you, nigga, you are the money. So either you work for us or you don't receive our gold, our benefits, our heaven on earth. It's kind of like shit like that. So it's kind of like that's kind of like the Saturn energy plane, and then especially and then once that plays out, it has all the other. It's like a pyramid system. If you want to bring up that little system, so it's like then you got like the race. You know what I'm saying? The language, the shit, like all that, you know, all that little fun stuff. So it's kind of like they already play out rules where you don't know yourself. So before you even know yourself, know all this shit first, then you can be on the bottom of the pyramid and then think of what you think of yourself. So it's kind of like they put you in a space of where you don't even have a say so. You don't even, it's like you can't argue for or you can't argue for or against a certain energy. So it's kind of like the only thing you can do is to play out like a puppet. It's like they got you like a puppet, so you gotta play a role that they put you in a movie for. So I'm saying whether you deep down feel like you don't fit in with that role, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why that's why you can meet mad white people that got the black spirit in them. You know, you can meet, and I'm just talking. There's no such thing as black or white or anything, but I'm just saying shit like in general. So you can meet mad black people with the white people with the black spirit in them. You can meet mad Spanish people with the black, all that shit. Every race. So it's not about actual color. It's just about, it's like moves. So it's not really about the whole totality of just thinking. Like it's weird. It's like, so it's kind of like don't get it fucked up. Don't think that we're in spaces of where we come up with these certain like why do you think we transmuted the energy of nigga and bitch and shit like that? And we use it for our little shit. Like so we don't. So it's kind of like we it's like we always try to uplift ourselves. Like we always try to play out forms where we try to uplift ourselves. Like we try to put these in a good light. So we don't always gotta feel like we're like already down in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? And the motherfucker we need a motherfucking fishing hook to hook us out of the sea and save us every fucking time we go too deep in the sea. It's like that's kind of like the energies we're in. Like instead we gotta be in spaces where we know how to be all walks of the water, all walks of the sea. So when we're in spaces like that, we already know like how like we're coming across. If we're going too deep with something, if we're going too far out with something, if it's too stuck and stable and stagnated in something, if it's too whatever, it's like we're in spaces of where we just gotta be in spaces of where we know what the fuck is up. So we take control of our spaceship. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And motherfucker, and like we like for us to even be in spaces like that, we're on a good track. We're on the right track because then we're in tracks of life where we can mingle and work with anything that life puts in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're on a mission for God, that's even better because now you not only do you know what you're doing, but you also know why you come up with certain what the fuck is that? You know why you come up with certain. know why you come up with certain gestures and shit. I don't know. It's weird. But I want to like sometimes like some things I say y'all should already know like because words point you to shit. So y'all should already know why and like things come across the way they come across. Like even if you're not trying to be negative and you come across negative, it's kind of like that means you're already like an intimidating spirit. Like it's weird, like because when you're especially so it's kind of like you can be the skinniest motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You can be the shortest motherfucker, you can be the weak, you can look like you're the weakest motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? It's something about this it's something about your spirit that it does to you. It's kind of like how I say this, it's kind of like you can be a motherfucker, like you can be a scrawny ass little weak small motherfucker. You walk in the mall, the only thing like the energy that you push out, it's like people see you as like a big ass like Godzilla creature thing. It's like weird. It's like they get intimidated by you just by you being yourself. It's like weird. So it's kind of like it's like it don't matter the certain organ and body you pick for yourself. It's kind of like as long as you're in spaces of where you don't fear. It's like because you're carrying energies of you not. It's not only you not in fear of nothing, but you also you're in spaces of where like you're in energies of where like nigga come fuck with me, I dare you, like I dare you, you know what I'm saying? It's like shit like that. So it's kind of like you don't even have to be, you can be smiling and everything, you can be smiling and shit like that, but when a motherfucking sense like we can be in front of somebody in real life, when they sense your presence, it's kind of like they have no choice but to like back off, or they have no choice but to like move along. Like even if you're like I don't want to, I ain't go to, but yeah, it's kind of like you can be in any situation in your life, right? Like, and then you can be like in a situation like I don't know, like a shootout or whatever, right? This is extreme. No, this is an extreme shit, right? You can be in a shootout, and like it could be in a sense where you witnessed the whole thing happen, right? But deep down in their heart, right? People in that area, right? They can see that shit play out, and you can be the like the witness, right? And then once it's your time to go, like once you gotta like, because you gotta be out, because you're not supposed to be in this environment. You leave that whatever you were that building or whatever you were into, and once you walk out, not only are people clear and not shooting out anymore, it's kind of like people. It's like everyone's pilot senses tingle. So it's we're all in a spiritual realm by default. So we all share spaces and energies together. So it's kind of like when your presence come out, people know to behave. It's kind of like you're a teacher in a classroom, and like y'all know because I be seeing like y'all know them kids that be smoking and shit, whatever them vapes and shit like that. It's kind of like when you know how when they be doing in class and the teacher walks in, and once the teacher walks in, like they stop quickly. It's kind of like that's the best way I can explain that. So it's kind of like people already are in energies of where they sense a sense of like of fear, or a sense of they better protect themselves, or a sense of like they might have to stop what they're doing. Like it's weird. I don't know. It's like that's the best way I can explain it. And that was that whole example was probably a weird and weak ass example, but that's like the best way how I can explain a certain energy for y'all, so y'all can understand it, so y'all can kind of see what I'm trying to get at. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and I'm gonna name this live stream a method to your like Scorpio moon method to your madness, because I think that's the best way in how this energies, because that's kind of what spirits is telling me and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like yeah. So with that being said, yeah, motherfucker, nigga, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So but there's a method to all our madness. So there's things that we do for reasons, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like don't take it with a grain. Don't take that shit with a grain of salt. Or don't take that shit don't take that shit too deep when a motherfucker checks you or something like that. Because sometimes, because a lot of people never had a big homie in their life. A lot of people never had you know what I'm saying, say so, or someone they can come to and let their emotions and let their feelings out to. Because a lot of people weren't sufficient enough, not sufficient enough, but a lot of people weren't in spaces where they can be born with people like this and shit like that. So it's kind of like when you're in a space of where it's like you being a birdie in a tree, right? And you seeing the outcome and seeing the environment of how shit plays out. It's kind of like when you're in spaces like that, fuck the birdie in the tree. Understand that you already are in it's like you're already on a high horse. So never be too on a high horse, and know how to separate the demons from the enemies from the friends from the foes. Because when you understand that, then you can have people to come to you to ask you questions. So even if they're not in your favor, just the energy they play out, they're already where they look like they really need help. They look like they connect. They don't know who else to get it from but you. So you gotta play the vessel in their life of being the actual teacher. You know what I'm saying? And it's even better if you're a spiritual teacher, because when you're a spiritual teacher, they can be going through some fucked up bodily organ issues, and then you can just let them know that fuck them pills you taking, fuck the whatever you're taking, fuck all that shit. You can just tell them, you can let them know a certain way on how to live. You know what I'm saying? A certain way on how you can go upon your life. So when you have certain ways on how you live and go upon your life, like for example, like let's say because I know motherfuckers, they be, I know me, because sometimes I'll be like when I be lying sitting down in the first spot too long, or somewhere's too long, like my shit be getting tired, like so weak and shit like that. So it's kind of it don't happen to me as much as it used to, but it's kind of like since I'm spiritual, I know I start from the starting point. So it could be someone that and that's called something. I just don't know what it's called. I looked it up the other day. I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of like when you're in spaces like that, you should already, like, for you to even be in a space of tiredness or like limbness or whatever like that, you're already in spaces where you're not actively like exercise, like, you know what I'm saying, exercising and charging up and shit like that. So you're not actively outside. So I play the role. I play so it started from the mind and it started from the body. So I played out me being on a beach, or me being out in on the porch, or me being out somewhere outside, and I control the environment for myself. So then I played that virtue and principle in real life. So I started waking up, and I didn't even want to start waking up by these times. The spirit just told me. I just started waking up about 6, 7, 8 in the morning. Started going outside. I started understanding the outside natures within, because I understand that we created everything from the internal first. So once you wake up, and it don't gotta be these certain times in the morning, but this is what the spirit me to do, right? So when I woke up at certain times in the morning, I came to the conclusion that, all right, so, and shouts out Dolo, because he got me hip to this shit too. So I came with the conclusion that, all right, so if the bugs, if the animals, if everybody, if the world, if they're all doing this subconsciously, but they don't, but the bugs and animals, they be knowing they're doing this, but the humans don't. But like, so if I came with the conclusion, if they know that they're doing this, right, I must be in spaces of where I had a certain piece of this puzzle too. So I was in spaces of where where did I start off with this whole little thing? So there's really no start off, but it's kind of like the best way you can see you can put yourself in a space or where you don't barge heads, or we don't, you know what I'm saying, shuffle, because animals and bugs doing the same thing. And you can't just be like, oh, I'm a human, I rule you. Nah, like, it's like, what the fuck? It's like, you gotta be like, because we're all spirits and bodies. We're all spirits with bodies and minds. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like just because a bug and an animal, just because they may not be as broad as you, right? And humans are broad, right? I'm not human, but just because they're not as broad as you can't be looking at it as selfish as no, you can't be like, even though you should feel like that sometimes. Like if there's a flunked out animal coming towards your direction, and you know what that animal will be like, get the fuck. But it's kind of like, I'm cool with all animals and shit like that, and things that, and bugs, and I don't got no problem with none of those motherfuckers. But check it out, right? So you gotta know how to put your spirit in spaces of where you where you have your little piece of that puzzle, because then you come to the conclusion that your little piece of the puzzle, the bugs and the animals are trying to get to that space you were at too, but they're doing it in their own little way. So when you come to that conclusion, you also come to the conclusion of, hold up. So since we're rotating to the left, right, and humanity is lost trying to go think righteous and think to the right, why? And the animals know that because they're already in the spiritual, right? And animals know that they're rotating to the left, but since animals are low-key lost because they follow this spirit here too, they're in a limbo too. So you come to conclusion that certain bugs and animals are in limbo, especially bugs, but infinitely bugs. Bugs be lost, but like animals, they're kind of in a higher vibrational space in the spiritual realm because they're on their next life. They're on the walks of being a human. So it's kind of like, with that being said, it's kind of like I went outside and I started, because then I had like certain crows, bro. Like I had certain birds coming to, like, and it's different color birds coming to me and shit like that. Then the birds started talking to me and shit like that, and like certain shit started happening. I started peeping game, right? So it all came to the conclusion that they seen the space I was in, right? And for you to be in a space like that, you are already connected with the world, right? So it's kind of like when you see the sun right, and the sun still wasn't, it was, you know what I'm saying, you still, but like you have a sense of knowing that for it to be, this is where it starts to get spooky, right? And I'm gonna break this down because nigga, I probably shouldn't even say this shit, but damn, I'm trying to think right now. Cause I don't want to be, oh shit. All right, so kind of like there's things that you may not be aware. I'm trying to see who. There's things that you may not be aware of. Okay, all right. So there's things that you may not be aware of. Why, like, all right. Damn, I'm trying to think. I don't know, cause this is like shit that, cause God told me to say everything, right? But when you get to spaces like this, I already took y'all to the river. I already took y'all to the ocean, so y'all should have your own compass to know how to go upon this little shit. But it's kind of like I'm trying to break down. It's kind of like we all had a certain piece in space that we did something that we were aware of that came up, that created this world. You know what I'm saying? And angels noticed to a T, because nigga, we created half this world. So with that being said, we all angels. Like all of us are angels. So when you're in spaces like that, especially, not especially, but even the humans, and because demons are just angels that fell. Humans are just motherfuckers that like were in spaces of where they were angels, but they fell. But see, humans is one step above, below demons, right? So it's kind of like they're on their way to become. But it's like it's weird. It's weird, dude. It's weird. I don't even know how to go upon this. But at the end of the day, man, spirituality is the shit, man. Nigga, we all once I swear he over the old song new and started. I'm telling you, EXO. I'm telling you, bro. I swear it's kind of like it's like you can't even explain shit like that, because it's like you come to the conclusion that, like, I mean, like, even though you did say it, but it's kind of like I bet you even experienced different shit in your life, that like how that little interaction played out, and you kind of see how with that, you know, because you said he's oversold new and started flying. Yeah, it's kind of like, because birds are already in spaces of where they, and especially birds, because birds are more in the high, because they be creating their, when they be creating their streets, their streets be like the air and shit. So how the air be moving is how they create their little streets and their little 1-2 and shit like that. So it's like when you're already in spaces of where you already been there, done that. When the bird comes to you, and these animals come to you, it's like they look up to you. But you can't be in your ego and be like, oh, I'm a human, so yeah, worship me, nigga. Nah, it's kind of like you have a sense of care and respect. It's weird. Like, had me thinking why all the birds hang out over the highways and intersections, power lines, instead of the trees, right? And especially New York too. New York, nigga, them motherfuckers, they be walking on the ground, nigga. These cats, they be like the rats, nigga. I'm pretty sure the birds be eating the rats in the year. It's like fucked up. It's like, nigga, like it's like the Shaw government got the. It's like they're about to get the whole world on some battery system. Like they already got New York. They're about to get New Jersey. They already got Vegas. They got Texas. I think where else? I'm trying to think. I don't, they it's like crazy, but they try to get this whole world on like a battery. So nigga, we start going outside, we start paying for air bills and shit. It's like it's fucked up. We start paying for air bills and shit like that. But it's kind of like, man, it's like, but it's like, yeah, but I ain't no spiritual hater though, cause I be seeing cause when I be going to spaces where these cats are, like I got no choice but to laugh with them. You know what I'm saying? And be like, damn, that's crazy. Like I'll be like, yo, what the like? It's weird, but it's like I don't know. Like I guess like that's why I always say like, man, this whole world just needs to be washed away. Like this whole world just needs to be washed away, and that's the only way we can bring God's world down here. Because this world is just too demonic. And when I say demonic, don't take it as actual humans and people. I'm just saying the way our thoughts and feelings are demonic. Like nigga, thoughts and feelings are demonic in general. It's kind of like, so it's like we're always trying to create a more sufficient idea for ourselves, a more broad out thought and feeling that can it's like that can release this shit, like can release this parasitical nonsense. Because kind of like we know as spirits we're so much more broader than all this shit. So it's weird, but it's like at that point it's kind of like we have no choice but to create our own vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Create our own tide, create our own atmosphere. So we can lead by example, and then we can be community minded. So when we know when we do something, it's for the bigger cause, it's for a goal, it's for to change the world, to change the minds. You know what I'm saying? For the school, for the churches, for the science, for the science building, all that shit. You know, shit like that. So you already got a place where you can bring down what you're doing up there down here. So when you do that, not only are you doing God's work, but you're in spaces of where you can actually share ideas. You know what I'm saying? That's what the soul groups, subconscious community, that's what we do. We share ideas because we're in the same space. We're in the same spaces of where our goal is trying to change the world. So if you're with a consort, or if you're with a friend or family, and you can peep, like, well, consort is different because you having a consort by default, y'all already think it similar and shit like that, and already, like, you know what I'm saying. But with the family and friend aspect, that's kind of like, I wouldn't advise it, but if you really are, you should. Man, what the fuck? Face. Fuck you niggas. We back? Cause fuck this shit, ma. I'll be back. But yeah, it's kind of like if you're in spaces where you feel like you can put like these motherfuckers on and shit like that, it's kind of like just do that shit. It's kind of, why was that a bad thing to say? Why they cut me off for that? I was just saying put friends and family over. Anyway, yeah, but that was weird. What the fuck? But yeah, when you're in spaces where you can put your friends and family on, but you feel like it's like you gotta be in a spiritual space. But see, nine times out of 10 is not. It's like it's not. I don't know, because y'all already not in the same spiritual space. Because when you separate from your spiritual soul group, spiritual tribe, that's when you went to your friends and family. They were all friends. There's really no such thing as a family until play out in the third dimension. Then y'all, because y'all create so many situations and things together that, yeah, it had no choice but to create a circumstance and situation where y'all came down together as actual family. But see, if you're so spiritual, you'll be in spaces where you don't even look like them. So that's how you know you're not from them. You're not with them. So you're from a different spiritual tribe. But it's kind of like, with that being said, it's kind of like, yeah, it's like if you can peep game, and it don't gotta be family, but it can be friends, right? And you can see a friend that claims to be spiritual, but you be putting them onto some game, right? And then sometimes, like, the things they be doing, they be saying something that you probably, it's weird, but you gotta be in the space. So it's kind of like you may want to put them onto some like spiritual channels, right? Like Uriel, you know what I'm saying? Things like this, you know what I'm saying? Things like the soul group, things like the subconscious community, shit like that. Cause then when you're shit like that, it's kind of like, then you can play, you know what I'm saying? Cause I have tried that, but it didn't work. So I was like, yeah, I don't think it's, yeah. So, but like, it's still, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it don't hurt to try. You know what I'm saying? It don't hurt to try. You know what I'm saying? It don't hurt to try. Cause like, God just wants to see you try. You know what I'm saying? And but God knows better. Like God already knows the situation beforehand. Sometimes God just wants to see if like how, because God wants you to experience it. God still wants you to experience at the end of the day. So it's kind of like God wants to see you what you would do. What's your astro? I'm a Taurus sun, Scorpio Sag rising, and Gemini moon. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yeah, I got like the whole shit. I know you may peep game, like I talk a lot. That's my moon sign. You know what I'm saying? And then the Taurus sun, I'm like how I say this. I'm practical with that shit. So I like to do. I knew you would. I knew you were Taurus. I had no. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I saw. It's weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is how Tauruses be like. We just be on our shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But especially if you're a high octave Taurus, when you're consistent, you're consistent. You know what I'm saying? If you're low octave, then it'd be like you be. I don't know. It's like where you be in spaces where you don't really care about. Like, it's good to not care about the external realm, but sometimes there's some good advice that the world would give you, but you probably don't want to be in space like you probably be in shit that you decline shit like that. Sometimes a high octave Taurus would be open to all new ideas and feelings, and then they use it for their little shit, and you know what I'm saying, shit like that. But yeah, I kind of some point. Well, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? We in this motherfucking shit like that. Yeah. With that being said, man, like we just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's kind of like, no, you good. No, you good. You good. I'm a Taurus sun, Scorpio, Sag rising. So you kind of got my little traits. It's the Sag moon. You got the Sag moon, so you already know you're spiritual as fuck too. You know, you be in that world too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You be in that shit where you like to be connected with others. You like to, and then you also like to be like, you want to be in spaces where you can relate your little your creativity, your spirituality, your little and your Taurus sun. So you like to relate your spirituality, your teaching moments. You like to be a teacher. You're a teacher at heart. But if people aren't like that in your environment, then you feel like there's no point to teach. You know what I'm saying? That's Scorpio Sag rising, just like me. So you be like, you don't know if you want to go too deep with that, or you don't know if you want to express that toward high horse. So it's kind of like shit like that. But I feel you, nigga. You kind of like me. I you know what I'm saying? You kind of like me with that little shit too. But yeah. But with that being said, it's kind of like, nigga, we already in spaces where like we don't feel like, especially if you already know, like, nigga, there's a method to all our madness. You know what I'm saying? You're in spaces where like sometimes you feel like you shouldn't even put out your little madness, because you feel like, I mean, your madness, because you feel like if people can't respect the madness, then there's no point of giving off the method, because the whole point of the method, right, is it's like a teaching experience. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, when you want to be a teacher, when you want to be someone that's on a high horse, on a positive aspect, right? Because you never want to be in the negative aspect of a high horse. Like you never want to be in the archangel Raphael state, where you just stay in that high horse, and not Raphael, but Lucifer. The Lucifer, you know what I'm saying? Lucifer copied Uriel with the motherfucking Uriel, Raphael, and Michael. He copied a lot of other angels too. But Lucifer tried to figure out a way where he can stay up on a high horse for like, and then he can show the whole world like how it's doing its little 1-2, like, so how it's doing its little thing. So it's kind of like basically like Lucifer came up with the ideology of trying to stay up on a high horse and then be seen as that, right? So he basically never falls, right? So it's kind of like an allegory of where he shows what y'all should appreciate me. Look at me. I'm not falling. I'm not like Uriel. I'm not falling, or I'm not like Raphael. I ain't transition. What's that one? Transition. I can't, fuck that shit. So I'm not like Michael. I'm not springing. I'm stuck in right here, and I'm manifest. Like it's all types of fucked up shit. So it's kind of like the allegory of Lucifer. Like he wants to be stayed up. He wants to be praised. It's kind of like he wants to be praised for that character, for that gun, for that intellectual property, and that motherfucker ain't shit. So it's kind of like, and that's kind of what the shadow government. That's kind of like what they were spaces they were in to live with themselves. Like they would try to understand spaces like that of where they were in spaces of where they knew they wanted to be in spaces of where they were seen like that. So it's kind of like, with that being said, they don't like you. We can't ever be in spaces like that because we all transition, we all fall. You know what I'm saying? Like Uriel teaches us we all fall. You know what I'm saying? When you understand that we all fall, that little light of yours that you're trying to maintain by yourself on a high horse, you gotta come to conclusion that, because it was like it was like a that's why it looked purple, right? Because it was like, how I say this, because it was like a whole how I say, it was like a transaction, right? So it was like, how I say, it was like the if the best way I can explain it, it was like, don't y'all know when the sun is about to set, like when it's about to get to the, so there's a certain time where it gets to where the sky looks purple and shit like that, and it's like, so what, it's usually the fifth house, some shit like that, in the middle, in between, like that little area. So that's kind of where Lucifer did this little thing. So it's kind of like, with that being said, people will get stuck and stable in that, not people, but the shadow government wants to be stay in that little space. So when they're seeing that little light, they see how they want to be in spaces of where they never fall, they never look stupid, they never look dumb, and that's how they start summoning Uriel and other angels on how they can maintain that space, and then they never want to fall and shit like that. So it's kind of like weird, it's kind of fucked up. Heard the Kardashians in the Kid Northwest. That's cool. That's crazy, man. Yeah, they did. Wasn't it trying to think, because I don't really be up to celebrities like that. I think I know who that is. Yeah, it's crazy. So it's kind of like, nigga, and the spirits don't even be known. They be doing this subconsciously and shit like that. So it's kind of like, it's like, it's weird. But I mean, nigga, I guess we all learning and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't really go too hard with motherfuckers like that, like with shadow government like that, because it's kind of like, we're all in spaces where we try to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you can only be like, if you're a student and you want to learn, you can't get mad at a motherfucker like that, right? It's kind of like, if you're the wise spirit and you know better, and you know the rights and wrongs of a situation, then you should already know why a spirit even did that little 1-2 with their little shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you have no choice but to be seen as a student, you know what I'm saying, or as someone just trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really get mad at certain individuals, especially, that's kind of like with your friends and family too. Because you're the wise spirit, so you be knowing deep down in your heart that when they be going through certain situations in their life, you can't really go too hard with them, because they are already in spaces where they came to the conclusion where they just try to learn. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they had you and shit like that. You nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, flunked out. You flunked out. Parents had you, and the fucked up shit is that they don't even know each other. You only know them for being your parents, but they don't know each other. So it's kind of like they're strangers in general. So if you want to be honest, it's kind of like you are just, like, technically you are just you're just with strangers. You know, it's like weird. I know it's like when you get to spaces like this, you come to conclusion like, damn, but y'all just strangers. So what the fuck am I doing here? It's fucked up. Am I a demon? You know what I'm saying? It's like shit like that. It's weird because like, but you have no choice but to feel like this sometimes. It's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So when I be talking about my damn self too. So it's kind of like we all in space. We all in spaces where we just have to overstand a situation, because when you overstand that situation, you can only understand it once you enter. So it's kind of like once you overstand the situation, then you can understand it. But when you understand it, you still got to understand it. So it's like so I'm gonna break it down for y'all, because this is what I be doing. So when you understand the situations, you're looking at that situation, right? Then when you understand the situation, understand the situation, you jump into that actual body. So when you jump into that actual body, you actually live in that experience, and you understand it, because you would never overstand it to understand it. So it's kind of like you would never overstand that situation if you never understand it too, right? So when you understand it, then you can understand it, because you that shit, it kind of shits you out, but it doesn't really shit you out. It's kind of like you come out that little. It's like boom. It's like you create a sword out that little creature, then you understand it. So I mean understand it. So when you understand it, you've seen it from all 3 points of views. So you have no choice but to what's that word? What's that word? What fuck? You damn. But so you have no choice but to understand that situation. Yeah, that's the best way I guess. So it's kind of like you're in spaces of where you already walked in. You already walked in all three aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? You already you came in all walks of life. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, with that being said, you can't be seen as wrong in that situation because you already seen every idea of that situation, every point of view of that situation. So niggas can't call you crazy. Niggas can't call you stupid. Niggas, because nigga, you didn't already see what that shit was about. So that's kind of like you having foreknowledge. The best way I can explain that. And if I probably should break down. All right, so foreknowledge, right? So foreknowledge is like, all right, so it's kind of like the idea of you having an idea. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm gonna make it simple. So I'm gonna break that down, but I'll make it simple. I'm gonna break down what foreknowledge actually is. It's kind of like foreknowledge is you when you see something from a mile away, and I kind of broke that down in the beginning of the video. So when you having foreknowledge, you see something from a mile away. So when you see something from a mile away, you're in spaces of where you already, like how I said, you already seen that shit coming. You already see that shit coming from a mile away. So kind of like you already seen the idea of that situation. You know what I'm saying? You already seen how that situation would make you feel. You know what I'm saying? Then that 3 would be the environment. So that would be you live. So I'm just a spiritual aspect. So that would you be in that environment. So you basically you basically an adeptus, right? And you were in that spiritual space of where that individual was at in the spiritual realm. So whatever thought they were gonna come up with in their head, you already seen them accumulating that little thought coming up in their mind. So you already foreseen what they're about to do from a mile away. So you express that to them, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So it's kind of like a thought, a feeling, then that creates the environment that because the thought feeling has sex. Then it creates the environment. So once it creates the environment, the 4 would be your intellectual property, your idea about that situation. So it's kind of like you guess on what that individual is about to do from a mile away. It's like it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Because on some real shit, there's so many ways on how you can break down the aspects of foreknowledge. Like you can break down like that, or you can break down like this. Like you can have no, well, okay, fuck that shit. But you know, so y'all already know. It's mad ways you can break down the foreknowledge. So it's like just have ways how you can broadcast that little 1 2. You know what I'm saying? Like have ways on how you can pinpoint something. Like I always pinpoint a situation. Like that's why we create these words of pinning and pointing and shit like that. And this is their magic wand. Like you can also point at an individual and they can just say what they like, say what's on their mind because they feel guilty. It's kind of like shit like that. Like especially if you're in a space where you're trying to find like someone that did something in wrongly or something like that, and you just got a space of where you're for sure you know what the situation's about. Even if you don't know what's about, you can see a fight going on, some shit going on. You can walk into that situation and have that what's that word I'm looking for? That I don't fuck it, but that thing that you have in your mind that you know what the fuck you're talking about. So you can walk in that group, that crowd of motherfuckers, and just point to the ground or whatever, and someone says something or someone lets out something. They most likely did. It's like I know they most likely did it. But you got me. It's like you got me in spaces where you know what the fuck you're talking about. If it's like a small motherfucker, they'll give you the certain movements, and then you can just point at that motherfucker, and they'll express that. They'll say something. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, my bad." Some shit like that. It's weird, but you gotta be an occultist. You gotta be like a real spiritual occultist, and know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Like when you're in spaces like that, you have no choice but to. That's kind of like the external version of you having foreknowledge, like because foreknowledge plays out in the internal realm first. But if you're really deep with it, especially if you know you're so much bigger than this world, you know that you're the actual magi, you're the actual witch, you're the actual wizard. then you have no choice but to play out these certain roles. And it's like, it's kind of like when you explain something to somebody, and you already have like a booby trap, like a booby trap for them. So you already, it's like you're leading them to a situation. So it's kind of like with you having that right intention and that right intention, right? You're leading them into a cage. So they'll think that they're right in all situations, in all aspects of life, until you hit them with like what's that shit? A firmament, right? A firmament, whatever you call it, a firmament, or a ceiling, right? So they thought they would play you. They thought they were going to play you with a certain situation, but you played out the role of stopping them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you didn't let that go any further. You don't go 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 further. You didn't let it go no further. So it's kind of like when you led them to that situation, you did it on purpose. So even if they weren't going by that situation, then they'll look retarded, because whatever they're about to say is not going to make sense. So that's kind of like how you catch a liar too. It's kind of like you just play on whatever idea they have in their mind, like whatever idea that they have in their mind that they're trying to. It's kind of like that Lucifer energy when they're trying to be looked up in a high horse, looked up as beautiful as something like that. You have the motherfucking, you have the spiritually intelligence to know how to stop that. So however they're trying to look like, that look can only go in a handful of ways. So in a handful of ways. So if you know the handful of ways that little situation can go, then you know how to stop that immediately. I don't want to say immediately. Yeah, immediately. You know what I'm saying? Immediately. You know what I'm saying? You know how to stop that shit immediately, and you know how to catch them in that trap. And it's even better if you're a wise spirit. So you have all types of booby traps. And I ain't gonna get too deep into that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave that shit at that. But so it's kind of like you already know how to, like, you know how to catch a certain virtue and principle. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're the wise one, you know that you already thought and feel like that eons and eons and eons ago. So it's like you don't have to play out whatever character they want you to play out, because you already used the foreknowledge. You already foreseen how that would play out, because you already foreseen how you would look like you're on their level, and you never want to be on no one's level. You always want to create your own level, right? You know what I'm saying? And when you create your own level, and this is Masonic, but just bear with me. When you create your own level, people have no choice but to want to be in that same level like you. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit like that. So it's kind of like, motherfucking, especially if you know what you're doing, then you don't even have, it's getting hot in this bitch. Especially if you know what you're doing, you have no choice but to harness your energy, not a energy, but harness your energy, because you know your energy is so, like, you know your shit is so like fire, like boom, not fire, but like so electric, so, you know what I'm saying, so like so great that you know that's certain energies that you got like harness for yourself, because you can also transmute your own energy, right? And transmuting your own energy plays out as you transmuting the universe energy, because you come to the conclusion that the universe is your thoughts and feelings, right? So when you transmute your own energy, it's like you're in spaces of where, since you create that intellectual property, you create that actual idea and feeling, right? You're in spaces of where you now have and you know as a spirit, you're greater than your mind, your body, all that shit. You know that you created that little spark, you created that little charge, you created that little battery system, so you can harness that for yourself, your own energy, and transmute that for for anything, and for anything you want to do in your life, for any walks in life, or any shit like that. So it's kind of like when you're in spaces like that, you have no choice but to be seen as a spiritual ascended person. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're here. That's what we're down here for. We're all down here to be spiritually ascended beings. You know what I'm saying? That's what you think they call a human being. Fuck the human part. You're a being. You know what I'm saying? But even like that's some old shit. But I just brought that up. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. It's kind of like if you want to be a king or queen, then be that. You know what I'm saying? because I know a lot of Pan Africans and a lot of all these, you know what I'm saying, all these you know, all these cats, all these black motherfuckers, niggers and shit like that. They be trying to be the Pan African and shit, kings and queens and nigga. I mean, shit. If you want to be a king or queen, nigga, because you know what, a king is a king of a principle, a queen is a queen of a virtue. So be that, like, create something in your mind that you're kingly of, that you're kingly of, and be the leader of that principle. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And then with the queen, whatever, create something that you're queen like of, and be the queen of that virtue. So when people play out certain virtues and principles, they have no choice but to think of you be the first thing on their mind. You know what I'm saying? You be the first thing on their mind by default, because you're in a king like area in the spiritual realm. You're in a queen like area in the spiritual realm. So they have no choice but to be like you. You know what I'm saying? And fuck all that shit, nigga. They have no choice but to bow down to you like an actual king or queen, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, get that shit happening. You know what I'm saying? Get your shit, get your gas fueling, get your plane, get your spaceship, get your plane, get your jet, get your starship, get your aircraft, whatever you flying, and get that shit correlated, nigga. And get that, but don't bring it to the Heavenly Council. You know what I'm saying? God don't fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? God don't fuck with no starship. God don't fuck with no jet. God don't fuck with no plane. God don't fuck. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? If we traveling and shit, and it's with you, but in a whole totality, God don't fuck with nothing that can fly. God just wants you to come naked. Believe me. So yeah, nigga. Yeah, that's how angels even got kicked out from the heavenly. That's like one of the main reasons why angels got kicked out from the heavenly council, because we try to bring flying objects there. Like, what the fuck is that? Take that shit out of here! Like oh shit! And then you come with certain, like, then you like, damn, what the fuck? And then we keep doing it too. That's weird. I don't know, cause we be thinking like we can. I don't know. It's a thing of trying to it's a whole allegory of angels trying to see if they can like bring like the things that we changed, because because angels be creating worlds for themselves. So when we be flying in certain things to shit like that. I'm making it dirty. Let me shut the fuck up. But yeah, before all that shit. But yeah, shit like that. It's kind of like it's like yeah. I don't know. I think, what time is it? 1:58. Yeah, I'm over for 2 more minutes. But yeah, shit like that, man. Nigga, we all spirits and bodies, nigga. We all superheroes and superheroines. You know what I'm saying? We all Wonder Womans and Supermans. You know what I'm saying? We all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We all pilots and pilotess, you know what I'm saying? And motherfucking nigga, Soul Group taking over the whole world, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We all changing this shit up, and motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? It's at the end of the day, man. Don't let a hater stop you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let a hater fuck with your shit. Always, you know what I'm saying? Always let that hater charge your little shit. Always make a hater just charge your fuel. You know what I'm saying? Make that hater work for you. You know what I'm saying? Just like Mortal Kombat Conquest. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what they call Saturn, but there's something about the Cobalt mines, right? And Shang Tsung Shao Kahn sent, I think, Shang Tsung to the Saturn realm, and Shao Kahn made Shang Tsung work for him in the Saturn realm. So he's basically filling up his spaceship, filling up his fuel, filling up his mind, filling up his ideas. So at the end of the day, the nigga couldn't fuck with him. None of his dark magic could work and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? None of his dark shit can work on Shao Kahn, because Shao Kahn was the spiritual motherfucker. Shao Kahn was Soul Group. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shit like that. And I think it's 2:00, and motherfucker, we out in this motherfucking bitch. I was for an hour and 30 minutes. This motherfucker, nigga, what the fuck?